let's talk about Sochi. So it's been a few months that I'm back in St. Petersburg, and I still haven't finished the video about Sochi. I just been swamped with work and all that. So now I got a good little moment I can just talk about it. Anyways, the number one thing that I didn't like about Sochi was the weather, surprisingly, right? So I didn't like the fact that from December to March, pretty much it's rain and it's cold. I mean, it's still cold. It's like +5, +10. Some days you might get 15 degrees Celsius. Yes, I'm talking in Celsius. And that's just too cold for me. Honestly, if I'm gonna skip winter, I want to be somewhere where it's actually warm, where I can walk around in my Crocs and shorts and no t-shirt, maybe go swimming. So Sochi's not that place. I mean, it's still better. Well, it's kind of better than St. Petersburg in wintertime because, well, it's a hard choice between the rain or the snow, because you got cold rain up in Sochi, or you have snow in St. Petersburg. Well, anyways, that weather is not for me. I understand that. I like it during summertime, but summertime St. Petersburg is fine also, or Moscow. Number two, I don't have really a list, but I'm just going with it. Number two would be pricing. Jesus, I mean, Sochi is like a provincial little town. It's a shithole. It's a little shithole, but it's a nice shithole because you got the mountains and you got the beach, and you got you got almost 1 million people living there on the outskirts from Lazarovsky all the way to Sirius. I mean, you almost got 1 million people. So it's a pretty little big shithole, but the pricing is just, man. So my house, the one I just sold, it's a nice house. I finished it and all that, and I got maybe like $250,000, $300,000 in it. That's a lot of money for Russia. And then across the street, well, not across the street, across from me, there's another house there, and I got a neighbor that lives there, and he's a nice guy and all, but the house is like falling apart. It's all crooked and stuff. And every evening he takes out the bucket of shit that him and his kids and his wife shit in inside the house and pours it out into the yard. And just watching it for many evenings and nights, it just came to me that, holy shit, dude, I spent $300,000 to watch a dude take a shit in a bucket. Yeah, and that kind of got me, because the lots in Sochi are really small. I mean, we're talking like 1/16 of a lot, 1/32 of a lot. I mean, we're talking about really small lots in Sochi. So all your neighbors, it don't matter. Your house can be $1 million in Sochi, and you're going to be looking at what your neighbor is cooking, or what does your neighbor bikini look like, because the lots are really small. So that's the second thing that really, I don't like that. In St. Petersburg, I got a good sized lot. I have like half an acre lot or something like that. Yeah, almost half an acre. And I still got neighbors, but it's a nice lot. Like I can do bonfires and hang out, and I don't have to look at my neighbors. In Sochi, you're on the mountain or on the hill, so you're constantly looking at neighbors. You're constantly looking at people. People are looking at you. So you can't walk outside and take a piss if you want to in the morning, because somebody's going to be watching you, or somebody's going to be looking out the window. So that's like the second major thing. So the lot that I want in Sochi, let's say I want to have half an acre lot, that's going to be like almost $1 million in a good location. $1 million. That's ridiculous. That is just so high. Sorry, I'm driving. I'm on a paved road. Yeah, that would be the second thing, that the price of real estate. So it's more expensive than Moscow, pretty much. I mean, I can buy a lot nicer house outskirts of Moscow than the house I had in Sochi. In St. Petersburg, I mean, I can buy a I can buy a huge house with a huge acre lot for that money. So the money only takes you that far in Sochi. And if you're talking about walking distance to the beach, I mean, you're looking at $3 million for a property size of 1/16 of a lot. That when you're 10 minutes from the beach, that's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, expensive prices. And if you find something cheap, it's gonna be in bumfuck. It's gonna be somewhere out there, 40 minutes down the mountain roads. Might be a dirt road on the mountain to get down to any kind of civilization. Yeah. So that's like number 2 is the pricing of real estate. Another thing that really pissed me off in Sochi is the cops. They pull you over all the time. All the time they try to fuck with you, asking you if you've been drinking, or if you've been smoking, if you've been doing drugs. And constantly they want to bribe. Constant bribes. And it's not that, it's to the point that they pull you over and they pretty much find a reason for you to give them a bribe. And if you don't give them a bribe, they're gonna throw you through like hoops and stuff, like, hey, we're gonna take you to get your drug test, and you're gonna waste half a day on it. So the cops, I did not like the cops in Sochi because they're just kind of like this 90s, just shit, just really shit. They pull you over and they try to find a reason so you can give them a bribe. And I don't mind bribes, but I don't want them to be in my face every single time, pulling me over like at 11 in the morning, be like, when's the last time you've been drinking? Dude, chill out, like back the fuck off my face. If you don't smell it from a foot away, that means I haven't been drinking. They're trying to like really like up in my mouth, smelling it on me, and then trying to tell me like, your breath smells funny. I'm like, dude, I didn't brush my teeth. But yeah, cops, I didn't like that. I did not like the way cops are there. They're everywhere. It's summertime. They're on every corner. They're pulling over every tourist. They're making money of them people. So if in St. Petersburg, I get pulled over maybe once every like 3 to 4 months, randomly. In Sochi, summertime, I'd get pulled over every week. Every damn week, they would pull me over, just because that's how they make their money. I mean, it's corruption. That's the other thing that I don't like about Sochi is the corruption. So we can throw that on the number 3. You want to start a construction business, you want to start this, you want to start that. There's a lot of corruption in Sochi. If we're talking about small business, that's fine. Small business, nobody's gonna touch. But let's say if I'm gonna start building houses in Sochi, we got the Armenian mafia there. We got all this crap that nobody's gonna let me build 10 houses a year. And if I won't get along with the administration, they're gonna find a way to pretty much say, hey, you need to tear down the house. So Sochi is kind of like 90s, still like 90s, 2000s Russia, but without crime. There's no crime there. So no, you're not gonna get mugged walking in Sochi. But starting a business, you gotta think twice. If it's a bigger business, so if it's, if you want to make, $1 million a year business, you'll have to pull it up to someone there. And I know some of the Russians will not agree with me about that, but please go live in Sochi and try to start a business, and then we can talk about it. Because I know, people don't like when I talk bad about Russia. I'm not talking bad. I'm just saying the truth, how it is. It's not a big deal. I still like Sochi. I still like it. But with the construction business, it's almost impossible for me to start there because, well, half of the lots are impossible to build on. There's laws that just prevent you from doing this or doing that. The administration that works half-assed and only does it for the bribe. Yeah, so it's not like St. Petersburg where everything is super legit and just easy going compared to Sochi. Oh man, I'm gonna have some hate for that. I know I will. It's all right. Let them haters comment below, please. And check out the weather today. Beautiful. I'm on the highway. Beautiful weather. St. Petersburg. All right. Number 4 would be the traffic. I mean, for fuck's sake. Every single bus stop, there's fucking taxis and Armenian dudes parked at the bus stop, and the bus has to get around the fucking cars. Every single bus stop. That shit is so annoying. And that goes down to the fucking cops. Why don't the cops do the job and give them tickets? They just don't. Why not? Yeah, but every single bus stop pretty much is, locals park their cars any way they want to, and constant traffic in Sochi just because somebody parked in the middle of the road, or, people were trying to pass each other on the breakdown lane and cut in. I mean, just constant. Like driving in Sochi, none of the speed cameras work, so everybody is speeding. Everybody is driving just any way they want to. And it's not necessarily a problem for me. I lived in Philly. I mean, I drove in tight places. I don't care about that. But let's say my girlfriend, she couldn't drive. She said, I'm not going to drive in Sochi. Fuck that. She goes like, nope, I'm not doing it. This is, it's impossible. It's really hard. Everybody beeping the horn. Everybody are cutting you off. I'm not going to drive in Sochi, she said. So that right there, and the parking. I mean, there's no parking in Sochi. It's really hard to find a parking spot. Everybody parks like any way they want to, so there is no like a way that, like in a city you have to park a certain way. In Sochi, no, you just park wherever you want to park because there's no space. So yeah, the driving, the parking, that was annoying. But once again, like, I can live with that. I don't care about that. This is just stuff that I'm saying the negative about Sochi, why I moved. And then one of the reasons is if I want to put my girlfriend and get her behind the wheel because I had a beer, she won't do it. So that right there has an effect on me. So why would I want to live somewhere where my girlfriend can't, doesn't feel safe driving? I mean, there's literally neighborhoods there where no fire truck or ambulance is gonna fit through because the way people park. I mean, if you're driving a tiny car, that's best for Sochi. If you move to Sochi, drive a small car because people park like assholes there. Complete assholes. Number 5. So, spent 2 years in Sochi, and I made only like met only 2 or 3 good people. For some reason, Sochi is one of those places where it attracts a lot of weird fucking people. Like weird people that do the witch and craft stuff, the yoga freaks, just vegan crazy. I mean, just weird people that just accumulate there, and there's a lot of them there, and it's really hard to make good friends there, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I made friends with some expats, and most of the people that I became friends with were not from Sochi, and we're not from like Moscow or St. Petersburg. They were from Moscow and St. Petersburg, the people that I became friends with. Most people in Sochi are from provincial Russia, and just it attracts a lot of weird people there. I guess it's because there's a lot of hiking and mountains and all this and that, but still there's a lot of places like that in Russia. But it's just a lot more. I've noticed a lot more weird people in Sochi than like St. Petersburg and Moscow. And weird, what I mean is like you talk to them and they kind of look at you and don't say nothing back. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I guess I'm just weird. But no, it was hard to make friends in Sochi. Honestly, like good friends, like close friends. It was harder than like St. Petersburg or United States. I got a lot of good friends in the United States. Check out this view. Sorry, just once again, look at it. Would you look at it? Yeah, look at that civilization. Yeah. So yeah, people are, there's a lot of Armenian people. So be ready for that. Armenian people, you're not gonna be friends with them. They stick to their own. They hang out with the locals, with themselves. So there is half of Sochi is Armenia, just so you know. Abkhazia and Armenia, pretty much half of Sochi. So yeah, people not like Moscow, St. Petersburg, or Nizhny Novgorod, or Yekaterinburg, or Novosibirsk. It's a little different mindset there. You got the Russian southern, Armenian, Abkhazian mindset. So be ready for that. Your neighbors, you might not be friends with them. I was friends only with 2 neighbors in my neighborhood. The rest of them, we didn't get along. So yeah, people, different contracts of them. And summertime, a lot of tourists. So yeah, summertime you got a lot of normal people because of tourists and stuff. That's number 5. Let me think if there's anything else. I think I covered pretty much everything that I didn't like about Sochi. I think so. Let me think about it. Another reason is the house. So I bought the house as a secondary, well, not secondary. I bought it from hands. That means those people that I bought it from, they built a house and they didn't finish it because they ran out of money. God, they built it so shitty, to be honest. There's so many problems with that fucking house. There's leaks, there's cracks in the walls, there's just so much work. Because of the earthquakes, every time I mud the wall, there's more cracks coming. They didn't use the serpentine thing for the mud. I mean, the house is built poorly, really poorly, and that's one of the reasons too why I wanted to sell it, because it's just not worth the money put into it, and I don't want to put more money into it because, well, it was built poorly. Don't ever buy somebody else's unfinished project. That's what I learned with housing. Cars is fine, cars are cars, but buying somebody else's unfinished house project is terrible. It's easier to buy an old house and renovate it than buy a house that somebody didn't finish. So we'll not make that mistake again on a bigger house, unless it's a small house. So that's another reason why I wanted to sell the house in Sochi. Oh, well, the main thing is all the goddamn bombing there. Yeah, that's another thing that just got tired. The siren going off at 3 in the morning. The siren going off at 8 in the morning, going off at 4 afternoon. You sit watching TV and the whole house is shaking because the drones are flying and the PVO hit the drone off. And that's good, they're doing the job, but just still, you live there and you hear it a lot more than Moscow, St. Petersburg, and the other big cities. Well, except for like Rostov and stuff like that, the closest cities to the special operation. Yeah, they get hit harder. But yeah, Sochi, it gets hit, it does. And if you've never heard, a drone blow up, it's frightening, it's quite scary. The first 5 times, then you get used to it. Sochi also has earthquakes. Just so you know, we felt 4 of them. So in 2 years, it shook the house 4 times. So Sochi's got earthquakes too. And yeah, and then the internet, pretty much, unless you got some sort of way to connect internet, there's no internet at all. No, Mr. Fish. You will not order yourself a taxi. You're gonna just walk home. Yeah, like they really cut the internet off up in Sochi. Every evening from 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. till like 6 a.m. there's no internet. That was like that the whole winter last winter. It might change. It might change this winter. Well, it's gonna end whenever the special operation will end. Yes, that's gonna end, but we don't know when that's gonna be. So that's another thing that I did not enjoy, is the sirens constantly. And you get used to them, you get used to these sirens, but they're not really enjoyable sirens. Kind of always reminds me like I'm in Silent Hill movie. Sirens go off and you got the fog, and next thing I know, dead people are gonna start walking the streets or something. And the roads, yeah. The other thing is, whenever the sirens and all that goes off, the airport's shut down, the train station can shut down, and if you need to travel to Moscow back and forth by car, you will shoot yourself after the third time you drive down the serpentine roads in less than a month, because these roads are terrible. There's just there's a lot of traffic. There's plenty of videos about them that I talk when I'm driving about the serpentine roads. There's only one road going to Sochi, and that road goes through all the damn neighborhoods. Summertime, it takes you 7 hours to drive 100 miles. 7 hours to drive 100 miles during summertime. Wintertime, about 4 to 5 hours to drive 100 miles. That's ridiculous. I mean, just nuts. With all the money put into Sochi, they couldn't do a fucking road straight through the mountains to Krasnodar. They just could not do that. So, but train is good. Train is good. Train goes every day. Moscow, St. Petersburg, Krasnodar. There's an Elektrichka, a tram going to Krasnodar every like 2 hours, and that's good. It only takes 5 hours, but still, location. It's really down south, and if you want to drive the car there, it's quite a hustle to do it often. Like every month is fine, but if you do it multiple times a month, it's really tiring. The serpentine roads in summertime, I mean, 7 hours, 100 miles, that's ridiculous. So I think that's it. I think those are all the negatives that I found on Sochi. I will do a video about positive stuff on Sochi, stuff that I did like, because I don't want to just talk shit about it, but these are the reasons why I personally, just me, end up selling the house in Sochi and moving. So those are my reasons. So to conclude my video, where am I gonna spend the winters now? That's gonna be a surprise for y'all. And sorry I haven't been posting many videos lately. Just been working, and with all the internet cut off, just no motivation on. It takes like 5 hours to upload a video on the laptop because of the internet problem, and it's just no motivation for me of doing it lately. But here's another video, so here you go. Those that watched till the end, I really appreciate it. Once again, don't care if you subscribe or not. You know, if you subscribe, that's fine. You don't. But thank you for watching, and I will post more videos in the future. So, peace out.